And welcome everyone to Brainsell's webinar on Salesforce versus Microsoft Dynamics CRM, a side-by-side challenge. Obviously, I am Sonia, and I'm joined by my colleague Kevin.
Hi, everybody.
We both work at the wonderful company of Brainsell, and we have a little saying here that we engineer smart business growth with business savvy software and consulting services.
Hashtag growth unleashed.
Yeah, that is our motto, and we love helping companies all around the US and Canada understand their business needs, help really organize business needs, even document them, and then see if help can be provided with software. And then we'll advise on maybe what type of software could help for that. And we have the implementation services and training services surrounding that.
It's important to know we have all the technical capabilities. We're certified in everything that we represent.
Yeah.
But we're not about the technology. We're about the business understanding, that business savvy. That's what really makes Brainsell different.
Yep, it really does. So agenda items today is really simple. This is a straightforward event today. We want to go over just 2 more slides, I think, on basic functionality comparisons and architecture. Then we'll switch our screens over to our respective laptops here, and we'll show Salesforce, I will, and Kevin will show Microsoft Dynamics. I've got my little stopwatch on my phone running, and we'll each take 10 minutes. It's a bit choppy to go back and forth switching screens, so we'll take Salesforce.com all the way through lead creation to cash and show a couple dashboard screens, very simple sales focused things, 10 minutes, and then I switch the screen over to Kevin and he proceeds with a live demo of Dynamics.
Right, and again, important to note, we're not going into a deep dive here, we're just showing the basics of the 2 systems, comparing the lead to closing the opportunity.
Yep.
So if you want to see more, I'd urge you to contact us and we'd be happy to show you deeper dives, but for the purposes of this demo, this webinar, it's really just the basics.
Yep, that's right. And then we'll do pricing comparison after based on volume and live Q&A. We're not going to take an hour. We're probably going to try to take this more under the 45-minute mark to get you guys on your way and back on your day. And again, we do respect your time. And again, you will receive the recording of this webinar after. So let's go over some of the basics, Kevin. I seem to be the Salesforce person today, so we just have some basics here that we wanted to cover. Support. With every edition of Salesforce, you get a case portal where you're able to go in and log support cases with different versions. As you go up in the versioning, you're going to get phone support and even be able to buy that as an extra for all versions.
And
what about Dynamics?
It's going to be pretty much the same for Dynamics. You've got vendor support through a portal, vendor support via the phone, emails. Sometimes if you log in and you start a chat, then the support technician calls you back.
That's nice.
Yeah, that's a very nice feature. But it's fairly identical to Salesforce.
Good. Deployment, this is a big differentiator. Salesforce is cloud on demand only. And just think of it, the 101 on that is think of it like Facebook, right? You can't download Facebook and put it on your server in your office. It is on their servers only. So that's the option for Salesforce.
And Dynamics, same thing. You can get a vendor hosted cloud.
Yeah.
Most people do, in fact, but you can also get your own private cloud. You know, you're all familiar with Azure. I'm sure you've heard of the Azure cloud. You can get an Azure cloud. You have to pay for it, of course, and put Dynamics 365 in that Azure cloud. Now, the slide here has on-premise crossed out. That's an important distinction, Sonia, because Dynamics, Microsoft Dynamics CRM, does have an on-premises client server, desktop installed, server installed product. We're not talking about that today. We're only talking about the 365 product, which is in somebody's cloud, whether it's Microsoft's or yours.
Got it. Just kind of like the email as well.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
Great. Limitations. So, I mean, every program is going to have limitations. Just the ones that are easy to call out are data storage. That's going to vary on the edition that you have. Those are very easy to find on Salesforce's website. API call limits. And there is a limitations guide. It's about 50 pages. This is going to be a hyperlink that you'll be able to click when we deliver this guide to you. But it is important to note that there are some limitations on API calls. And what does that mean? It's a data exchange. So if you have an integration with, let's say, you know, your Intact ERP, for example, that is basically dings. It's an API call every time exchange happens of information. So as those, invoices upload into Salesforce as part of a schedule on that integration, that's going to count as an API call. So you just want to be cognizant of that if you've got a lot of integration needs ahead of you. So those are easy to find in the limits guide. What about Microsoft?
There are no API limits. They do have a rich API, or it's open, but there are no limits on it. What you would have extra cost with is if you've got if you're hosting the cloud service yourself. So if you take Dynamics 365 and put it in your own private cloud, you have to pay for that. So those are your potential on-premise service costs, or Azure service costs, or even Rackspace or Amazon service costs. The other bullet point here, and this is an important one, is that the support for Mac Office is not great here.
Oh.
Yeah, and that's notice that Sony's on a Mac, so it's doable, but it isn't great.
Yeah. Yeah, and I put that bullet point in.
I know why. Yeah.
It's really important. If that's a distinction, because with Salesforce, it's a little shaky with Mac Office as well.
Yeah.
But less so. And this is all from message boards that are from like 2 months ago, by the way. So we keep up to date with what's going on in the community, and it's better with Salesforce. I will say that for Mac users.
I agree.
But also the Gmail integration. I'm not sure I'm not sure if there's a Gmail integration.
There's a third-party plugin.
There must be.
It's not out of the box.
And with Gmail for Salesforce, it's really good. So a lot of people using Salesforce tend to use Gmail too. So there's a lot of support there for Gmail.
Yeah. Now, when we were putting together this presentation, I didn't add another bullet point on the right-hand side about the Outlook connection, because the Outlook connection for Microsoft is clearly superior, as we're going to see later in this demo.
It is, and we're going to show some screenshots. I didn't put that in the agenda. We'll be showing some screenshots after the live demos of the Outlook connectors too, because they're not as easy or quick to show. So we'll be looking at those. And then architecture, what does this even mean, Kev?
Well, if you're going to write code, if you need to write code, you want to write code, a lot of folks do. You have to use Apex,
right,
or C#.
Yep. So Apex is Salesforce's proprietary language. They're based on an Oracle database, and this is not something that you usually learn in college. So you're going to have a CRM developer like Brainsell do any big customizations, but stuff that we're going to show you today, like we're not going to show you how to add fields, but point and click customizations don't require Apex knowledge. It's fine to have like a Facebook type user like me, like really good at Facebook and Instagram. We can usually customize
Apex is a flavor of Java. It's Salesforce's proprietary version of Java. So it's not entirely foreign, but it's also not really Java. They've added enough of their own extensions that it's very different. So if you want to write code, you do have to have a certified Apex developer. Microsoft, on the other hand, while there are service calls you have to learn, it's not a proprietary package. C++, dynamic HTML, JavaScript. That makes it easy to develop. So is it easier on Microsoft? Yeah, probably a little bit, because it's easier to find developers that can do that kind of work than Apex.
Got it. That makes sense. All right. What? Demo. All right. That was it.
Yeah, that was it. We're going into there. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Should we shake hands first, or should we like?
Well, I'm not sure who's going first.
Do you want to go first? Ladies first, and you are in red.
Hey, I will go first. That would be great.
Only if you want to.
That would be great. So I will go first. We're gonna shut off the webcam just for a second here, so we have some really good focus time on demo. So I'm gonna show my main screen here, and there we go. So I am now on my Mac. Thanks, Kevin. And I'm also going to start my timer here. So
got to make it fair.
Exactly. So we're going to take 10 minutes to run through front to back here, lead to cache, and I'm going to start with dashboards. So here we go, starting the timer. So here I am inside of Salesforce. To log in, by the way, you just go to salesforce.com, and there's a login screen on the upper right-hand corner. For my demo database, it comes with some really nice dashboards. This is a home screen, and it shows my quarterly performance, which is stellar. And then my assistant might call out things that I need to do today. And these aren't tasks that I set up. It's just maybe things that are coming in from workflows or rules that are hidden in the background here. Like I need to assign certain leads. This is cool. It's called out that an opportunity is overdue. And if I hover, you're going to see a summation of the record. So Salesforce is really good at that. And I can actually edit the record and update it right from here as well in my dashboard. If I go down to news, that's just another widget. And then cool, we have an event today of our webinar. So it's picking up on my calendar. And I can actually click on the calendar view and see that as well. And we'll do that just for fun. So that's a full calendar view. And this should look pretty standard. I'm going to go back. So you can use the back button, which is nice. And, you know, other things, this just came with a demo instance, by the way. You know, we've got calling out a task and then recent things that we've looked at and recent records that have been viewed by me. And if I hover again, I get a preview of the record. Up here, this is very easy to customize per user, or you can do it as the admin and lock things down for people. But all along the top, this is my nav bar. And if I hit the down arrow, then I see recent records and recent lists or filters that I've been on. And I can also create something new, of course. So, and then of course, there's a global search too. So in both databases, you're going to see that things are kind of similar here in that, do today's leads, there we go. There's always a list view and things always start as leads. So this is usually how things go in CRMs across the world, is things start as leads, and these are pretty unqualified people. Maybe they're coming in from a contact us form, or maybe you've uploaded them from a trade show list, but they're pretty unqualified people. And this is where they live. If you have a sales team that does, you know, sales development, maybe this is a different team of people that is, that's nurturing leads and just working on leads, and that's where they're going to be. And then maybe your account executives, they're going to focus here more on the accounts and contacts, and opportunities are the things that they're selling. So traditionally, especially in the B2B space, that's how things are going to go. So I'm going to load a lead that's already created, but also show you the create screen. And this is really nice. There's a guidance area too. You can turn this off. But what you're seeing here is the lead's name, John Steele. He's at Big Life title. So all of these things are changeable per your admins. And then more context of the record. And then as I go down, there's activity, Chatter, which is an internal tool between Salesforce users that we can do polls, we can talk to each other, we can request things of people right through here. Details, which is more on the record, beefing that up. And even an address and a map, which is nice. And news, if there's anything. And of course, I can sign in with Twitter and then link up with that company's Twitter, which is great, and kind of follow them there. So let's recap a call really quick. This is nice. So, because calling is what a lot of B2B salespeople do. We could have a phone integration, of course. That's same in Dynamics. We could link up our IP phone with Salesforce and automatically log calls with notes, which is neat. But wants, you know, to talk next week, and it's going to be attributing this to John's lead record. And if I press save, then it's simply created a call. And what they've done with this new version, this is called Lightning, is the new UI in Salesforce. It's been around for a couple years now, but very prevalent now. And it's a very nice graphical interface where we're going to see kind of a nice timeline here, where I can see exactly what happened. And if I load more activities, it would put them at the bottom if there were some. And a view all will actually pop this out and show me a really concise view of what we've done. So you'll notice on the top, there's a progress bar where the user is guided through a stepped process. And this is very new in Salesforce and is attributed in Lightning. And it's really this progress bar that helps people go through and really usher your sales team through a process. Now, you can kind of break this process and make it a little more open-ended and not so defined, but it is quite nice. During the implementation process, a company like Brainsell would help you understand, okay, what are the fields that you need? What are the stages in your sales pipeline? And then we'll help you kind of define those with graphical interface. And we'll also ask people, your salespeople, to fill out fields as they go through each step. So these are some key fields, and we're going to go over here and we're going to convert this lead really quickly because I've only got 10 minutes. And Salesforce does a really good job of calling out duplicates, which is neat. So it's searching for a duplicate and it doesn't find one, which is nice. So it's prompting me to create a new account called Big Life Inc. And it's going to also create a new contact. And then the lead's going to be hidden from now on. And then there's also going to be an opportunity here. And the opportunity, I can choose not to create one, but out of the box, it will just create one. And an opportunity is the thing that I'm selling or tracking. So I'll convert this. And yay, I see now that I've got an account, Big Life, the contact is there, and the opportunity is down there as well. I have to put some numbers around that opportunity. So I'll click on the account. And now what you see here is just kind of a greater view now of holistically the account, phone number and all of that. If I go down here, I can see related records, which are opportunities, cases, notes. And if I hover, I can see, again, a preview of that, which is super useful. And these are next steps. So these are next steps that are predefined through workflow. So Salesforce Enterprise comes with a really beautiful graphical workflow creation tool and in Pro as well. And you're going to be able to graphically create workflows to usher people through sales process again, or to make things happen automatically. Like when you create a new account, that you've got some next steps that are predefined perhaps. So as I scroll down here, I see the opportunity. So let's click on that and let's talk a little bit about opportunities. And again, if I'm an account executive, this is really what I'm focusing on, is opportunity data, because that's really what I care about following this. So again, it's ushering me through. This is how you make an edit, is just hitting the pencil button. And this is going to say, 20 users, save. Oh, and you know what? I forgot to ask them about budget. Let me call them back again. Do you have $20,000? Yes, I do. Save that. And now we're on to the next stage, which is needs analysis. And again, these are just predefined in a demo, but these are going to be changed for your org and how you guys actually operate. $20,000, and we did the discovery. Let's save that. And now we're back onto proposal, negotiation. Great. And let's close this baby as closed one and save. That was the fastest sales cycle in history. And congrats, keep up the good work. So fun stuff here. And as I go down now, I see what I did in those stages. It's compiling it, compounding it in a different area for view and the details. And I can even go in and edit it after, of course, but the type here was existing business. And additional information, this is all done. Now, if you're a manufacturing company or you sell something physical, there are products, there's a product catalog in Salesforce, and you can very easily attribute products to an opportunity and then create a quote, a very simple PDF quote based off of those products in the opportunity. So this could become your quoting wizard. And again, very simple quoting where you just have a PDF output, nothing fancy, no e-signatures or anything. That's out of the box. They do have Salesforce quoting, which was steel brick. And that functionality is a whole nother user license, and it gives really complex quoting. So if you're a manufacturing company with lots of different price levels and all that, you can get more complex quoting with an add-on from Salesforce, but all the other stuff comes out of the box, which is amazing. Oh my goodness, I only have 30 seconds left, Kevin.
Oh, I will cede another minute if you'd like it.
Maybe another minute. I just wanted to show you a beefed up record, and also show you guys filters, which there's so many different ways to see, and I could create a complex filter based on state, based on status, based on account owner, the last time I touched the account perhaps. All of that is doable. But let's go into a more fleshed out record and see what's gone on here. This is so cool. They've grabbed our logo. There's also a address verification built into Salesforce. So when you try to enter someone's address, right, it kind of corrects it and checks it with with correct addresses out there. So that is good data.
I love the Hello Kitty icon next to your name is really.
Yeah, I didn't even set that up. No, they want me to do my little emoji, which is cool. Haven't built out my profile on this. And Chatter, just to show you that really quick. Again, you can do polls, you can do updates. You can ask people for input by doing an @ mention, just like Facebook, and people can like it, comment back, and all of that. Now, when I go down here, I see a little more information, notes. So put that in earlier today. Files, that was really easy. I just uploaded something from my desktop. And that's a basic account overview. And sorry to skip around a little bit more, but again, contacts. So as I build this out, new contacts. This is someone who works at Brainsell as well. And the red dots denote that something's required. Save. And then Kevin's been added as well. So 11 minutes and 32 seconds. Thank you, Kevin. That was very generous.
Wow. Well, it's great to see. It's Salesforce is a great product.
It is. It is. They've done a lot. So I know that amazing Devin is on the other end answering some questions over chat, which is really great. So I'm just going to look here too and see if there are any that I want to talk more about.
There are questions about the interface.
Yeah, and we're demoing Lightning for sure. Yep. So this is the Lightning version that we've been demoing, and it is an enterprise, but I haven't shown you anything that's not doable in Pro too. An Outlook calendar, absolutely it can. So Salesforce Calendar can communicate bidirectionally with Outlook Calendar. So Salesforce does come with an out-of-the-box Outlook connector, which I'll show you a screenshot of after Kevin's done, and it's quite good. And yes, it can integrate with the calendar and emails very easily.
What's Brian's question there? The next one down?
Yeah, so Brian,
we don't have that plan, but that's probably not a bad idea.
yeah, Brian asked if we could do a Salesforce versus Microsoft Service case management demo, and that's a good one for sure. If you want that, Brian, we could do that privately too. And then one more thing. Nope, I think we got it all. Awesome. So, and again, we are Lightning right now. So, Mr. Cook.
All right, let me share my screen. You guys are seeing the orange demo slide, but I'm gonna.
Nope. Hold on, I'll reassign it to you now, making you presenter, and then we have just a couple pricing slides after Kevin takes his 10 minutes. We'll go over pricing. So hold on, Kev, let me start this.
All right.
Okay, we can see your Outlook now.
Yeah, and this is, I decided to start an Outlook.
That feels like you're cheating.
I am cheating a little bit.
Okay, I'm gonna start and go.
Okay, starting an Outlook because this is one of the real huge benefits of Dynamics 365, that it is so natively integrated with Outlook. I'm in Outlook on the web, the OWA. This is my real live Outlook instance, and I'm going to press this button here, and it takes me over to Dynamics. So now I'm seeing Dynamics 365. I've defaulted to the Dynamics 365 overview dashboard, but there's several others. I'll show you those in a moment. This is not unlike Salesforce, not unlike any other major CRM tool. When you first log into the system, it brings you over to the dashboard page. And there's these little boxes, you can call them dashlets or whatever, but you've got some that are graphical and some that are tabular. These can highlight phases of your pipeline. You can drill down into them. You can expand these and show all of the records that are used to generate this chart. If it's a tabular dashboard, you can create and add activities right from the dashboard, or you can see all the records associated with these items. So not uncommon. This is something that any serious CRM is going to be able to offer. Now in this demo instance, I've got a couple of other dashboards. For example, here's one that shows if you're a manager and you want to see some management activities, this is what's going on for sales, annual revenue by month. You see the exact same sales pipeline chart. Yeah, that's to be expected.
And other things, again, some graphical,
some tabular. Microsoft, like Salesforce, has a built-in marketing tool. We like to say that if you're really serious about marketing, you probably want to get a third-party marketing tool. And there are many great third-party marketing automation programs. One comes to mind called Acton that ties in very, very tightly to Microsoft. But the Microsoft built-in marketing is not bad. I could see some marketing data here if I like. Microsoft and LinkedIn are connected, so you've got a good connection between LinkedIn and Microsoft. But I'm not a marketer, I'm a salesperson, so I'm going to go back to sales. I'm going to drill into Alex Wu's lead record in a moment, but before I start with the leads, I want to show you a little bit about how Dynamics hangs together. You're going to see this black menu bar at the top. The black menu bar at the top is going to let you go over to the other Dynamics things you might have purchased, because you could have any number of Dynamics products in the Dynamics suite, but I'm not going to go there. I'm just focusing on CRM. I could navigate to other places in my sales engagement tool, or I can use the white menu bar, which is context sensitive. So the context menu bar is going to allow me to set this dashboard as my default, refresh all, create new dashlets. And once we get into other modules, you'll see other context sensitive actions that you can perform in this white bar. So let's drill into the lead record of one Alex Wu. Alex may have come to you as in part of a marketing campaign, a cold call, an outbound calling campaign, lots of ways that Alex could have come to you. But when you first see this record, you're presented with the most important things at the top. Where did she come from? She filled out a web form. What's her classification? Warm, cold, hot? You can set this, or you can have this set automatically. What's her status? She could be in a different status queue because of a workflow that's being progressed, or it can be set manually. Then again, the owner here. Every record has to have an owner. You can see the red asterisk. This indicates that I'm the owner. Now, the second bar here is going to show me the process that we've put together for qualifying a lead. You can see first we have to make contact with her. We develop a lead where we're going to enter opportunity stages. We're going to look at the various things that she's interested in. We'll send a proposal and eventually close. This is the lead to opportunity sales process. Part of this is to convert her to a contact. Now, this is like one of those cooking shows, where they take the cake, they put the batter in the pan, they throw it in the oven, they pull it out. I've got things pre-cooked. I've already converted her because I don't want to go through it at the time. I'd rather show you these stages. These are all locked because she's moved from the lead stage to a contact. I'm going to go into the contact record and show you a little bit more. But before I do, I want to show you the kinds of things that are part of the lead record. As I scroll down here, I can see a summary, information about Alex, any posts, whether social or otherwise. I can see activities. These are all the activities that I or my colleagues have had with Alex, phone calls, meetings, even behind the scenes activities like putting together a promotions sheet. If you've got any notes, these are notes that might describe to my colleagues special considerations for Alex. Maybe she travels a lot and she's only available on Tuesdays and Thursdays. These are the kinds of things that you want your colleagues to know or that you need to remind yourself about. And then I can see other stakeholders. Maybe Alex is the primary stakeholder, but she works closely with the decision-making team. So I have those here as well. I can outline my competitors in this record, and you get the feeling that this is almost like an opportunity in and of itself, because they do treat leads and contacts as though they are not the opportunity, but it's important to know who you're competing with at the contact level sometimes. Now, if I scroll down further, I can see other things like what she's had interest in, the number of employees at her company, marketing information, et cetera, et cetera. Let's go to the contact record. Alex Wu, the contact. Now, this is different. Usually there's a threshold. Alex Wu is a lead. She might not have been qualified. We had some phone calls and emails when we qualified her as a viable lead, and now I see her as a contact. Similar sort of thing. I can see information about her. I can see activities, again, phone calls, approvals for discount. This may be part of the chasing of an opportunity, and other notes that we've written in here. I'm going to scroll down, And we've got a similar sort of thing, details about Alex and contact preferences. Now, if you are tied into other Dynamics products, you may not see this exact screen. You could see things in the side pane, you can see things in the bottom. Let me pull up Northwind Traders. This is the company that Alex works for. And maybe I didn't click. It works so much better when you actually click. And you can see that I've got, it's a quick bar, it'll show up that I've got service, field service tied in here. I'm not going into a demo field service by any stretch of the imagination. However, I want to show you that if we've got other things tied in, I might have field service data at the bottom of this company. So if you're using another Microsoft product, it's tied in tightly to the account record or the contact record if it's appropriate. Now, I don't want to belabor that. I'm going to scroll back up. Some things that are slightly different here at the account level is I can see what we saw before, details, activities, notes, and contacts, whatnot. But as I scroll down, I can see other projects we've got going on. So I can see things like price lists, things that we're working on. Maybe this is part of an opportunity. Maybe this is an onboarding. But the point is, at each level, lead, contact, or opportunity, I can see different things as appropriate. I'm running out of time here. I have got to hurry this up.
It's hard. 8 minutes.
It is. Okay, so I've got about 2 minutes left. Another real important part to note is I can take the context sensitive menu up here and I can connect Northwind Traders to other entities inside my database, to people, opportunities, or accounts. I can add Northwind Traders to a marketing list. I can assign it to a different person, or I can kick off new processes. There are lots of processes or forms that might be of use here. If you want to get an authorization process going, you could start that. I've got other places inside my Dynamics 365 tool that are important, namely opportunities. So one of the opportunities that I'm working with Alex Wu, I can see this here. I didn't show you this on her contact page, but I'm going to go looking at the audio output opportunity. I can see just like at the lead record, in fact, the lead record did reflect some of the information that's in this opportunity record. I can see the stages necessary to close this deal. In fact, you can see here, if you remember back to the lead record, it showed this had been active for 119 days and 4 hours. That's important.
That's actually a really neat thing, Kevin, because that's a bit of a standout that it actually takes time elapsed. That's a little unusual in the CRM world, so that's a cool feature.
And that is out of the box.
Nice.
So notice these stages are not locked, because now I'm in a live opportunity that's not closed, as opposed to the lead record that had been converted. I can see all the information about this opportunity, the name of the company, the currency, et cetera, what they're looking for. Any posts that I need, these are internal, but I can make them external, or activities. I'm going to add a phone call here, show you what I'm doing. Called Alex to be sure that she has the latest proposal. I'm just going to put it in for today. It's done today on Valentine's Day, and it was an outgoing call. It's great here that I can also say, this is really a voicemail. This makes it reportable. So you can say, show me all the calls that I actually made, contact, and show me all the calls where I ended up leaving a voicemail. Now, my colleagues can see this. Somebody else comes in here, if I'm working this with somebody else, they're going to see all the stuff that I've done and that other colleagues have done. Ultimately, I'm going to be filling out all the information. They have a bad system that crackles. And sounds familiar. And I'm going to close this deal. I'm not going to fill out the details here, but I want you all to see. Oh, I'm running out of time. Now I'm up to 11 minutes. She gave me an extra minute, just like I gave her.
Fine.
I can keep my product price list right in the opportunity, and it'll tally up the values for me. But ultimately, I am going to make this in questions.
Well, Devin has done a great job.
Oh yeah, Devin, you've been cranking through the answers here, haven't you?
I have,
see one.
and we do have some questions that were asked by multiple people. One of them was talk a little bit about the ecosystem, because both tools do have a rather large add-on availability. Don't go too detailed, but if you could just both touch on what the ecosystem looks like for Microsoft for Salesforce, that'd be great.
They're definitely more for Salesforce.
Yeah.
Like 100%. I don't know how many more, but it's just been around for so long, because Salesforce is over a decade old, that there are just so many out there.
Yeah, and Salesforce has the Exchange.
Yeah, App Exchange.
The App Exchange, yeah.
It's great.
Microsoft has a much smaller ecosystem, but it doesn't mean it's not there.
Yeah.
It's bigger than others like Sugar or others.
Yeah.
And it's usually, you're going to find things that are not put together by kids in their basement.
Right.
But put together by larger companies that build an add-on to the Microsoft world.
Yep. A lot of functionality there, though. That's great. And then I see one too. And Kevin, are you, before we hop in too much, are we good here on the screen? I can switch over to the slides.
Oh yeah, let's go ahead. I showed everything I wanted to. There's so much more of both these products we can get to.
So much more.
Yeah.
So, okay, we'll make presenter here, and our demo's over. We'll webcam it. Great.
And actually, a handful of questions just came in about migrating from system to system. So if you could just lightly touch on, if you're on something like a SalesLogix or perhaps a ACT database or another database that we haven't shown today, is there a migration path available for either one of these products?
Yeah, absolutely. They're not, it's not the click of a button though. Unfortunately, every migration is complex in its own right, because there are migration tools. If you don't have much in there, just the CSV uploads of Excel sheets into these programs are very easy to do. But you'll definitely want to talk to a partner like us to do a migration that's sizable at all, because we've got actual migration tools that we use to get this data into the new system.
Right.
And strategy, because there's a lot to think about when you do a migration, like downtime.
Yeah.
And training schedule and getting people familiar with the new application. So definitely want to work with a partner on something like that.
And a little plug for when you go into buy.brainsell.net, it takes you to our Dynamics 365 marketplace, and you can buy as part of your purchase the Microsoft migration tool.
Wow.
So it doesn't migrate everything. You mentioned SalesLogix, Devin. It would not handle SalesLogix. It doesn't handle some of the oddballs, but it does, and I should say SalesLogix.
Salesforce.
But it does handle Salesforce migration. Right. So if you're on something like Salesforce, you want to migrate to Dynamics, they have a tool that's already configured for that.
Yep.
And it handles all the major migrations, as well as things like import all my data from Outlook, or bring over everything from spreadsheets. And so there's a tool that Microsoft will sell you as part of a license purchase that allows you to do the Microsoft migrations.
That's pretty cool. Okay. Well, I see one question, Dev. I'm just going to jump ahead here, and I see it would be great to have third-party providers for marketing automation working with Dynamics and Salesforce. So the Salesforce a few years ago bought Pardot, and Pardot was out of Atlanta. We were one of their founding partners too, and I used to use it here about 6-7 years ago, and it was great. So Salesforce acquired them. They now call it Marketing Cloud, and it's a separate fee. So they also own a couple other automation tools, ExactTarget and some other things. But yeah, that's a separate subscription fee. And Act also works with Salesforce really well, and Sugar, and Infor, aka SalesLogix used to be, and Microsoft. So we can help you with that too. We're expert in marketing automation and love it. Totally geeked out about marketing automation.
We're doing a great integration right now, even as we speak, between Acton and Microsoft Dynamics. It's a great tool. It's really tightly integrated.
Yeah, it's out of the box.
Out of the box.
You just like upload a module and it works. I also saw another one that how many modules does do all these come with? And modules being in Salesforce, they're called objects, but like contacts, leads, opportunities, accounts, probably 24 out of the box, like including quotes and reports, but you can make as many custom objects as you want. Well, that is in the limitations guide, but pretty much, the standard company is not going to exceed those limits. And it's probably the same in Dynamics, where you've got probably 24
Yeah,
Modules?
Dynamics does not have a limit on the number of customizations you make,
Okay.
but they do have limits on storage, just like Salesforce.
Right. But probably 24 modules or so come with these two apps. Now on my screen here, because this is a quick webinar. I put the Outlook integration, just a screenshot of it, and this is Salesforce's, and the Gmail one looks pretty similar. Now there are lots of third-party enhanced Salesforce integrations to Outlook and Gmail that do awesome stuff. But this is pretty standard what you see in a CRM integration, where I see James's record, I see maybe any other people at that account, and then I can archive this email. So it's carbon copied in. If someone emails me directly like a lead, I can enter them directly from Outlook and they'll hit Salesforce. And then we didn't even talk about mobile, but the mobile capabilities are ridiculous. Salesforce One is their mobile platform. It's very customizable and fantastic to use. And then tell us about this Outlook integration. I mean, they are Microsoft, so
Salesforce has a connection to Outlook, but I got to say, this is going to be the best one out there.
I would hope so.
Everybody's in Outlook. I hope Microsoft.
It's their own product.
It's really tightly integrated. It used to be, and you guys out listening to us here, watching us here, are going to hear that it used to be clicky. It's no longer clicky. It used to have literally dozens of dialog boxes. Not so anymore. It's tight, whether you're in Office on the web or even Office on your desktop, fully integrated with Dynamics. You can do probably 75% of the work that you would do in Dynamics CRM inside Outlook. You can track opportunities, update opportunities, track contacts, leads, even kick off workflows. So it's a real tight integration with Outlook.
Yep, they got us there. But up until maybe 5 years ago, I couldn't even use our demo instance of Dynamics on my Mac.
That's true.
Because you had to use it on
to be in a Microsoft
on whatever that's
virtual
called,
machine.
Explorer. No, it had to be on Explorer, the browser, and obviously that wasn't happening here. Okay, so pricing. This is pretty straightforward on Salesforce. We did fewer than 25 users first, and then we'll do the second screen.
You did that to accommodate me. So
because Salesforce doesn't have a user limit, and so there are versions like Contact and versions that you're going to see on their website that we're not talking about, because we speak mostly with businesses, right? And they usually need a little more than just the Contact version, which is very thin. So we're talking today about professional and enterprise, $75 a month or $150 a month per user. And then what about Dynamics?
Okay, Dynamics has that 25 user threshold, not because you're switching between licensing plans. It's what they call the SMB plan, the small business plan. If you're under 25 users, you can buy the sales engagement small business for $40 per user per month. Or I've got this other thing in here. You can get financials and operations. You can get a light ERP and a light CRM combined for $40 a month. And that's the Navision product. They took Navision, put it into Dynamics.
That's cool.
So that's a thing I think people might want to know. And you may see that pricing online.
Yeah.
So I wanted that to be clear to everybody.
Okay. And Salesforce has Financial Force too.
Yeah, that's right. They do.
So
right.
It's not as seasoned as Navision, but it is their own ERP platform as well. And there are other better ones out there too. Pricing off more than 25, it doesn't change on Salesforce.
Right. It doesn't change for Salesforce. It does change for Dynamics because you have to bump up to the larger suite. And I will say that the Dynamics world can be a little confusing as far as product naming and conventions. And buying the suite, the Power App, the app, the whatever. But fundamentally, if you get customer engagement, that's CRM with field service and customer service and project, all the little apps that you can get added in under the whole enterprise suite, you're going to get $115 a month per user. If you add in AX, that's their full-blown ERP package, and you have customer engagement, then you're paying $210 per user per month. So that $210 is pretty much everything in the Dynamics world.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that's neat. And Q&A. So Devin's been doing an amazing job answering all these questions. And please put them in the questions box. While those are coming in, we're doing another one of these because these are fun. Kevin and I are going to be doing another where I'm probably going to represent Salesforce again, and Kevin's going to represent Sugar.
That'd be great. I love it. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. So these are can all be accessed through bit.ly
Brain events.
/brain events. That's our bit.ly. So got one. So we also do accounting and ERP platforms here, and app for Sage products, which is really neat. So a lot of events coming up. Looking at questions, I don't see.
What's Celestina's question there about sales logics?
Yep, doing a migration.
Oh, you already answered. I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
So I think Devin's done an awesome job with answering these questions. If there's anything else, let us know. We will be sending out, again, a webinar recording. The slide link, actually, I see Devin put it into the GoToWebinar interface, so you guys can grab it from here.
He rocks.
Or we'll be putting it on SlideShare too, so you can get to our LinkedIn through that as well. And you can schedule a private time with us to talk. We'll be sending that in the follow-up as well. And if there aren't any other questions, we'll get you guys out of here. Nope, we have a couple. So yeah, neat. Cool. We actually have a guide on this. So Harold asked about BPM Online, Dynamics, Sugar, Salesforce. I have a link to that, Harold, of a comparison guide between all 5. We love these comparisons because we know them all so well. So we've got a lot of documentation on these things.
And I'd like to point out, Harold, that it's not that one would be the best.
Yeah.
But everyone has its place. And so it depends on what your needs are. We need to hear what kinds of things you need to do in a CRM and allow us to point you towards the right product.
Yeah, yeah. And here's a great question. Salesforce Professional, it does include customer service like Microsoft does, but it doesn't include field service, which is a whole different ballgame. So Salesforce also has Service Desk, which is their service offering. And that's more like adding Zendesk on, right? It's not, you can manage simple cases in Salesforce Professional with no add-on. But if you want a lot more functionality for your service desk, then you're going to need to have a separate license fee for that.
And that's the exact same answer for Dynamics.
Yeah.
It's got some customer service built in, but if you really want a true customer service platform, you have to buy into a customer service product.
Yeah. And then we have a question. This is a good one, and I guess I'll give you the answer. I've used here personally like 6 different marketing automation systems because we try them all. And what do we use as a CRM? Daniel asked. That's a great question. Wow, we're going to tell you. So
wait, no. Maybe we should save that for next time.
Yeah, for this in 2 weeks when we do our next webinar. No, I'll spoil alert you. We use Sugar internally. That's our CRM, but we've used a bunch of other CRMs too.
We've got them all running. We have them all running internally.
We do, but we use Sugar CRM.
We used to be on Sales Logics years and years ago, Daniel, and we had to make a change. And at the time, we decided to go to the Sugar world because we were just starting our Sugar practices about 8 years ago, a little more.
Yep.
And Sugar had a different ecosystem back then. It was more appropriate to things we needed to do. So for us, 8 years ago, Sugar was the right choice.
Yeah, it definitely was. And then just another question here on criteria if one is better than the other. Man, it's really hard. What we wanted to show you today was the UI. We wanted to really show you the differences because as you can see, and this is a good closing note here, you can see here that a lot of the things that we did today are the same. Mm-hmm. Right? We're doing the same stuff. It's just that things look different. Also, integrations are different. So if you came to us and said, we have Intact as our ERP, then I might say, yeah, you should probably look at Salesforce because there's an inherent integration to Intact and you want that integrated. So why are we going to go through the effort of configuring a custom integration to Dynamics? Or you might say, we use Navision and we're on the most current version and it's cloud hosted. Then I'd say you should probably look at Dynamics because that's a lower barrier of entry.
Or it could be some other feature requirement, like not necessarily a tool, but we really have to have great internal chat.
Yeah.
Or goal setting. Management's all into goal setting. Microsoft's got goal setting built right in. So there may be features, or there may be nothing that indicates one product over another, and it could just be what you think is best, what your users like best.
Or it could be your budget.
Or it could be the budget too, yeah.
So if it is your budget and you're concerned, because we do get a lot of pushback. I mean, we talk to companies all day who, they just want the right tool, and Salesforce has a big price tag on it for sure. It's great though, they spend a lot of money on marketing, and they have a fantastic startup. Trailhead is their self-learning, where it's just amazing, and it's so well built out, and they have a huge investment, billions of dollar company. So it's way more expensive than something like Sugar CRM or BPM Online or Zoho, certainly. So if it's all about budget, then come look at Sugar in 2 weeks, and they have all the same functionality just about, rolled right in, and that comes at about a third of a cost than Salesforce.
We'd always help you pick the right tool. Budget, features, UI. We'll get to the bottom and help you figure out which is right.
Yep. So
let's do a time check.
That's a great closing. It is 2:54 here in Boston, and we'll let y'all go back to your desks. And we thank you so much. And Devin, thank you for answering all these questions and kicking it off.
You've been watching Regis and Kathy Lee. Please join us next time.
Yeah, join us next time.
Yeah, happy to help. And thank you all for joining. Brainsell is signing off. Have a great afternoon.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.